I was like, I was about to do the Screaming Dale show thing, but it's the
It's
Outrage
the Dale
Factory.
Show.
Hey, everybody. If you're used to listening to me and Jeff on the Dale Show, you're listening to me and Jeff on Outrage Factory. And and
Yay.
I did some sacrilegious graphic design guy thing. I used AI to make a new background.
It looks cool. I
That
like
looks
it a lot.
cool because I saw
Yeah.
like Tim Dillon and Joe Rogan have neon signs, and I was like, well, I can't fucking afford one because
Yeah. You know how much they're so expensive.
they're so expensive.
Yeah.
And they're like so fragile. They
Yeah.
break so easy.
They must be Italian. Fragile.
Fragile. Um, I know this because my buddy had a job with a sign shop, and he was like, I was hurt. This was like when I was 20 and I
Yeah.
was hurting for work. He's like, oh, why don't you come help me? And I was like holding a sign and I didn't move and it just broke. And I was like,
Yeah, dude,
shit.
it's thin glass filled with a gas that gets agitated by electricity.
Neon gas, isn't it?
Yes, sir. And it's
That's
like
why they're called the outsides.
and they're apparently like it's incredibly toxic if you breathe it in too.
Dude, I've breathed it in.
That explains so
I
much.
have breathed it in,
I breathed it. I have
breathed it in.
inhaled it. Inhaled it.
Oh yeah, I was gonna do the Dale Show intro, but the actual intro for Outrage Factory is "Hello, Internet.
Hello,
How are
internet.
you?" We copied Poppy like
Oh yeah.
6 years ago. I don't even know if that chick's still around.
What does the other guy say? The other guy, fucking Derek.
Oh, he says
Welcome to Rage Factory, the podcast
podcast where we talk
where
about
we
things
talk
that
about
are
things that make you mad on the internet and the idiots who
why you're dumb for
oh,
caring.
why you're dumb for caring. There it
But
is.
I
Fuck,
don't
it's been a
like that because
while.
I don't want to make people feel dumb for caring about stuff.
Well.
Because we should care about stuff more. But we should
Okay.
definitely care less than what people care about.
What are we
Or
caring
as
about
much.
this week?
We got I'm always like hesitant to say what we're gonna
Oh,
talk
okay, okay,
about
okay. You want to keep it. You want to keep
because
it spicy.
well, no, because sometimes we won't get to it, and then I'll feel like I let people down when I'm
That's
like,
actually a
oh,
really good point.
we're gonna talk about this awesome thing, and then you and me will talk about Marvel movies for an
Yeah, that
hour
sounds right.
because
Yeah,
that's what we do.
That sounds right. That sounds very correct.
But it's
What?
a segue from Fragile when you
Ooh.
said that sounds like Italy. Guess what people are finally willing to admit that involves Italy. I'm just
What?
gonna open this link.
Pizza was never invented there?
No,
What is it? What is it? What is it?
that Hunter Biden actually did Ukrainian fuckery way back when. And remember how we could like
Does that get to Italy?
because Hunter Biden asked you. Oh, I can't open this because there's a paywall. Anyways, so the story was like everybody knows about how Hunter Biden had a no-show job with Burisma out of the Ukraine.
Mhm.
It's like an energy sector, but everybody just kind of like forgot about that because this was like pre-cokehead or pre-crackhead Hunter Biden when Joe Biden was still just the vice president.
Vice P, yeah, Vice P, Vice P.
So the White House people, I don't know exactly which organization within the White House, it was like Department of Security or something. They're like, oh, by the way, we have this knowledge that we've had since we were denying that the Hunter Biden laptop was a thing because it was a thing.
Yeah.
And one of the things was Hunter Biden actually asked US diplomats in Italy if they could, pull some strings to help him set up an factory or an energy resource. I don't know, whatever. He wanted to set up something for Burisma in Italy, like like I guess electric
Like a research
plant.
lab or something, or
Or something.
or a
So
plant, like a facility,
yeah, but so
a
what?
utilities facility.
So like now that Hunter Biden's brain or Joe Biden's brain is fully melted, and they're like, okay, we don't have to worry about pissing people off. We could just actually say some truth that would happen. And they're like, yeah, Hunter Biden asked for some diplomat, some like US diplomat in Italy to help him with his Burisma connections. And the whole point, and the whole time, everybody was like, no, Hunter Biden didn't use his father's name to help
Mhm.
him get
Mhm. Mhm.
millions of dollars from this Ukrainian energy company for no reason, just because he's or just because he's Joe Biden's son, and they were basically hiring his name to help Joe Biden grease the wheels and get stuff done.
That seems right. That seems like more accurate.
Yeah, the thing I don't know about now is like why would they admit this now? Like,
I
wait,
don't know. Is there a political gain to gain from? Is there anything to gain politically from releasing that
I
information?
guess make Joe Biden look bad, but then you're
That's
still gonna make Kamala Harris look bad. Like,
look good.
why would
Look,
you release this when there's an election like a stone's throw away? Like
I
in
guess it
five
depends who
months.
released it, right? If it was the Ukrainian government that released it, they don't give a shit, right? Or if there's
Mhm.
some other organization working nefariously in the background that released the information, then perhaps it's that.
But it was the US government. It was like the
Maybe they're
Department
trying
of
to. What if they're trying to get ahead of it or something? Maybe somebody else
That's
had some
true. Oh,
information that
maybe
was
they
going to
want to
come out,
get
and
it
they
out
wanted to get ahead of it.
now.
Yeah, get it out beforehand. From a pure
Yeah.
PR perspective, it would make sense to get out ahead of it before it comes out from another organization
But what
or
they
like
should have done
yeah.
was they should have done this when they were trying to get Joe Biden to step down. And he was like, "Hey, I'm still going to run." And
I'm
then
still gonna run.
Pelosi and Obama were like, "You have to step down." And then they did like some soft coup and they're just like, "Oh, yeah, now we're going to have Kamala or whatever." But
Yeah, I
this
don't know,
isn't the
man.
conspiracy show. So
It is not. I like how you just mildly stuck a conspiracy into Outrage
Mm.
Factory just for fun.
It's part of my identity
It
now.
is.
I'm a
It's who you
conspiracy
are.
guy.
It's who you
I'm a
are inside.
conspiracy guy.
Oh no,
Oh,
he's gonna start wearing trench coats and like
yeah.
lives in
Ooh,
a
trench
trailer.
coats.
I know
Yeah.
it's turning into trench coat season. It's starting to get
Can
cooler outside.
can we do trench coats again? Has it been long enough since Columbine that we can
Oh my
wear
god,
trench coats?
wasn't yeah? I think we're good. I think you can wear a trench
I was
coat
like,
again.
what, 20 years ago?
The city of New York always wears trench coats. I
That's
don't think you have a
true.
problem there. I think trench coats are okay.
I think the
I
move
think
is
you have
to
to
to call them
our
dusters.
dusters. There we go.
Yeah, that's a
At our
duster.
age, I
Yeah.
think it's like if it's a teenager wearing a here's me being ageist.
Mm,
If it's a teenager wearing a trench coat,
yeah.
that's
They're like,
not
why is that guy wearing a
why is I
trench
gonna wear a
coat?
trench coat? But if you're like a
That's
full
not
grown
cool.
adult and it's wintertime, it makes if it's if you have gray hair and it
Yeah.
makes sense that you're wearing a trench coat, then sure.
Yeah, that's like when you're
There's
an
like a
adult.
definitive age gap at
Yeah.
like there's a spot where you transitioned into trench coat guy and
Yeah.
no one thinks you've got weapons underneath it.
Yeah,
They're just
because
like,
like
yeah,
when you're older, they're like, that guy doesn't give a fuck about looking cool
yeah.
because trench coats aren't cool. He
Yeah.
just wants to stay dry.
He
He
just wants
wants
to
to
stay
get
dry.
less
Yeah.
wet.
Yeah.
Do you love
Yeah.
how my lamp is
It
popping in
just
and
keeps
out?
making an appearance beside you. It's like lamp,
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 you're
lamp.
you're giving away my that this is a picture and not an
Yeah,
actual sign behind
not
me.
a real piece of glass
Yeah,
art behind you. Yeah.
I guess this
There it is.
also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the holes through your headphones. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
This
see, I
is
can see the artwork behind me if I do this.
this is gonna distract me so bad. I'll
Don't
just
look
be
at it. Don't look
talking
at it.
and I'll
Don't
be
look at
like,
it.
bloop, bloop.
Luckily, my head takes up most of the artwork behind me, so you can't really
That's
see it
good.
unless I move it. Yeah.
You're living the easy life. Yeah, so
I don't
I
have a
didn't
cool
want to get
background.
too deep into the Hunter Biden thing, but I just
Yeah.
wanted to say, hey, everybody who called us crazy for talking about the Hunter Biden laptop and saying it wasn't real. What else is real? What else
Cha-ching!
aren't they telling us?
They're not telling us a lot of things, Dale. They're not
Oh,
telling us a
they're not
lot
telling
of
us
things.
so many things.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. We're in the dark. They did tell us that aliens exist, but now
Oh, that's true.
that died. It died really, really like I haven't heard shit about aliens in a
Well,
while.
because they're like aliens exist, and everybody's like, "Cool, show us the shit you got." And they're like, "Oh no, no, no,
No, no, no, no.
we're not gonna show you our technology that we reverse
Yeah.
engineered.
Here's some blurry Air Force footage.
Yeah,
Now go about your day.
we're just letting you see 10-year-old videos
Yeah.
from blurry Air Force photos, like
Yeah.
Jeff said, but we're not gonna actually tell you anything new.
Nothing cool. Yeah.
We're not gonna tell you that in 1954 they made a pact with the gray aliens in some deep dark bunker, allowing the aliens to take a certain amount of human beings to experiment on and take their bodies in return for technology.
This week on the Dale Show.
Oh, I can't remember what that was called. There's like an actual
There's like a name for it, like Project something. It has one
that's
of
like
those
the
names.
something something agreement,
Oh wow.
which
There's somebody named that like an alien thing, the something something
you
agreement.
know what? I gotta Google this. I can't just
Okay.
tease a
Today on
dick
Dale
hard
Google stuff.
conspiracy theory. 1954. I'm
The pact thing.
impressed I got the year right. Agree.
Well, I mean, that's Roswell, right? Like it's right around the
Men
same area.
with
Post-war,
aliens.
pre-modern days. I can't believe there's
Let's
actually like
see. Nordic treaties, United States president. The Greada Treaty. Oh yeah, I remember
oh,
this now. We
okay.
talked about this on the Dale
Like,
show.
yes, we did.
I remember I kept saying Greta and
Yes,
Greada and
because you were
Grada.
because you're still technically in love with Greta
Yeah.
Thunberg. Thunberg.
Uh President Dwight David Eisenhower
Ah, Dwighty.
made an agreement on February 20th in 1954, if you believe this actually happened,
With
with the Nordics and Greys.
ah, yes. And I
So
remember
then,
we've
yeah,
spoken at length about the Nordics and the Greys.
yeah, but you'd have to listen to the other podcast, which this
Yeah.
whole episode of Outrage Factory is just an ad to go listen to the
Yeah,
Dale
to go
show.
listen to the Dale show where we
If
talk
you,
about
yeah,
aliens
and
and
it's funny because like I
sometimes
try
Hunter
to keep
Biden.
the two things separate because I know there's some people who listen to the Outrage Factory for current events
Yeah.
and what people are mad about and don't want to hear conspiracies and stuff.
But I'm here, so I'm fucking everything up.
But yeah, but I'm also the guy who loves conspiracies.
He does.
So,
He does love them legitimately.
but you know
Uh,
what else we're gonna talk
what
about?
else we got? What else you got on the docket today? Docket.
Sorry, I just
What are
gotta
we doing
Google this.
first? I know
We
you
are
gave
gonna
me
talk about
topics, but
the most enraging female at the Olympics, and it's not the boxer. Because I don't even want to get into that. Everybody already knows how they feel about that. They picked a side.
why
They
don't
got
you
super angry.
break it down for us?
Oh, so we're gonna talk about Raygun. Oh my god. There we go.
Yes,
So
Dr. Raygun, possibly.
so
No one for
Raygun, the
sure.
Australian break dancer, if you could even call it that.
Mm.
Rachel Gunn, clever name. I want to pull up these screenshots I took off Reddit because somebody was explaining what happened because everybody's like, "Oh, nothing shady happened. That's just like basically like Australia's dog shit at breakdancing and that's the best woman." But she also won best female breakdancer in Australia in 2021 and 2022.
Man, the layers of this story and like the shit that I've seen about this, like
Oh, dude.
the memes aside, but then the
Mhm.
defense of this, but then the like no one actually has any proof about what it is, and then this whole like how she came to be selected to breakdance within the Olympics. There's the like her husband is the chair of the board of people who
Oh yeah,
select
that's what
the
I'm looking for
Australian
because
Dance
they
Committee,
like
which is like
explain it.
primarily a ballroom dance
Yeah. So what happened
association.
was
Like selected the yeah, it's wild.
uh
And then also there's like the talk of that there was a TikToker that was like, and again, if you listen to TikTokers and that's where you get all your news from, that's really what's going on. The TikToker that was in defense of her saying that it's a protest and that she wore a cricket uniform. It's an Australian cricket uniform to like, and the whole goal of that performance at the Olympics was to uh, showcase the cultural appropriation of breakdancing being touted as a sport that could be judged by people. And so like I have so many questions. The
uh
main one being, how do you judge breakdancing? And I guess it's similar to maybe like
there's
the Winter
five
Olympics
there's 5 point things.
criterium.
Yeah, there's like originality, difficulty, vocabulary, like the amount of different
Yeah,
moves you use.
different moves.
And my main thing I want to interject against this dumbass TikToker who said that she was doing this as a protest because she doesn't feel like they should be judging breakdancing like this or something dumb like she shouldn't like France shouldn't be judging breakdancing by this because Raygun competed in the world breakdancing competition in France in 2021
Okay.
where she got 42nd.
Out of
And the world, I don't know.
the world. How many countries are there? 100 and something? Yeah.
But you can imagine if you get 42nd place in a competition 3 years ago, you're dog shit. Oh, and she even last year, okay, so she went to the world championships for breakdancing 3 times.
It's
She
impressive
went
that you could place 42nd.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, it's you want to
like
hear
gold,
something even
silver,
more
bronze,
impressive?
quadruple mega bronze.
You want to hear something even more impressive? In 2022, the next year in Seoul, Korea, she placed 73rd. And then the next year
How many fucking people are competing in these where someone can
in
place 73rd?
Leuven, Belarus, she placed 64th. So she had,
Yeah.
for the last 3 years, gone to the world championships where she was okay with them judging breakdancing,
Yeah.
and she
Yeah.
did dog shit.
What I need to know is, are there other viable Australians that could compete rather than
Yes.
her?
So one of the rumors, like, I can't find like the actual official stuff, but I was talking about how I had like a screen grab. So this was posted on X by Little Mykonos, and it says, "Okay, I've just got information that Aussie breakdancer Raygun's husband was the judge in the qualifying contest that got her through. If
Right.
this is true, we need an inquiry into this waste of taxpayer trash. Can anyone confirm?" And then Papa Bear replied from Reddit, "There is no World Breakdancing Federation or whatever to run a qualifying process. The IOC approached the World Dance Sport Federation, which is primarily a ballroom dancing organization. The Australian affiliate organization is Dance Sport Australia, which is also primarily a ballroom dancing organization. Despite never having had anything to do with breakdancing, Dance Sport Australia finds itself in charge of breakdancing qualification for the Australian Olympic team. So they get in contact with Raygun, a self-proclaimed breakdancing expert who has a PhD in breakdancing. Raygun knows exactly what they should do: partner with Australian Breaking Association, and they will run your qualification for you. But the Australian Breaking Association was founded by Raygun and her husband and has about 20 members. Unsurprisingly, they run a qualifier that gets 15 entrants, and Raygun is selected as the women's entrant, and her husband gets appointed as the team coach.
The whole world is rigged. That's the
Yes.
moral of the story, is that, yeah, you make your own path, Dale. You make
So
your own path.
if this happened and they like it's not going to be back in the Olympics
Yeah,
next year.
it never was.
It was
It was never
a
going to
trial
be.
sport where they like
Yeah.
try for 1 year and say, "Hey, let's give some people a gold medal, see what happens." And then I guess it was just a shit show. This part was, at least. So they're like, it's not going to be back. So Raygun is going to be the only Australian breakdancing female to ever go to the Olympics.
Right.
But the reason I care about this is because this shitty woman, who's 36, by the way, and that makes
Yeah,
this
that
so much worse.
it seems that seems a little aged to
It
compete
seems
in a
like
dance competition. I mean,
you
and
should be
again, I'm
in,
like, I'm
yeah,
trying to be cool about this, and I'm not going to call her a shitty woman. I think
yeah,
some shit happened that was
super
not
shady that she
correct,
set up.
and yeah, right.
She
And I
set it
just,
up.
yeah,
And this is like, and she's not even, she's only been breakdancing for 10 years, since she was like 26 or something, or in
right,
her early 20s. And she like is a trained dancer, but she's a trained dancer in ballroom. That's
right.
why the ballroom like association knew who she was. So the reason I'm pissed off is because this annoying 36-year-old woman went to the Olympics, basically said, "Fuck everyone else. I'm going to do this myself." Like, as the dance teacher, like as the bad character in an 80s movies where she's like, doesn't let the kids play. She's like, "I still got it," when she obviously doesn't. Like, in her pre-interviews before the Olympics, she's like, "I can't do the power moves. That's like the spinning on your
Yeah,
head and the flipping." And she's like,
like the
"So
young people can.
yeah," she's
Like,
like,
they
"I'm
don't have
not
malleable bones.
she basically says, "I'm not as talented as this as
Yeah,
other people, so I'm gonna have to be creative and do like kangaroo hops." But
kangaroo
if you know
thriller.
you're not as talented as the other people, don't go to the fucking Olympics.
Yeah, or like, if you're part of the governing body of Dance Australia, reach out beyond your inner circle and find someone who's good at competing.
Yeah,
I mean,
let more than 15 people enter.
yeah, I can see how, like, there's like a really it does create an interesting buzz, right? And people are going to talk about this forever, about this
Mhm.
exact thing. And I guess I almost kind of see her point.
I don't.
Like,
Fuck her.
yeah, I know you say
No.
that, but like I kind of
Mm.
see her point of like she showed the world that the Olympics potentially is could be rigged at any point by any governing body, depending on who. Like, is it really an actual show of the best talents in the world, or is it
Oh, that's a good point, but
who do you know?
I don't think she meant to do it that way. Yeah, it's like
I don't know, man. I'm conflicted on this one because I don't know what to make of this, because
I
she went there,
honestly
she did a dog shit performance that looked like it was terrible. Like if you
but
watch it, and even the commentators are stunned. And these are people that don't even know anything about breakdancing and are still
another
like,
bad
this is
part
not what's supposed to be happening right now.
another bad part, Jeff, is there's past videos of her other performances.
Are they similar?
They're all like that. She didn't just throw this one on purpose. She
Right.
didn't just dance bad to make a point. That's just how she dances.
Right. Yeah. And it's kind of comically bad
Yeah.
in the scope of both for her age, her proclaimed profession,
Mhm.
her doctoral thesis, and her abilities and skills,
Yeah,
right?
and
And I think that that would piss
yeah,
me off too if you worked really hard and worked on a routine and spent the hours really going at it and figuring out how to break down. So like take all the other stuff aside, take away the cultural appropriation, take away all the other things. If you look at the pure competitive spirit of the Olympics, she went and basically gave two giant middle fingers to everyone who actually trained to make the Olympics and to
but the
like
bad part
try
is,
to do the
Jeff,
best for their country.
I think she thought she was going to do better. I think she was in full denial. I don't think she was like, I'm not that good. I'm going to make a point. I think she's like Michael from The Office, who isn't self aware enough to know how bad she is.
Yeah,
That's why I hate her.
that's
She's
that's
like, did
fair.
you ever
Okay.
watch that show Pop Stars?
No.
It was
But I
like
do
a,
have a show, a similar show I
yeah.
can make a leap with. But you go ahead.
So there was this reality show. It's like so cringe, but it's almost amazing. It was called Pop Stars. It was a Canadian reality TV show, and they took like 10, 12 contestants who they knew were terrible, but the contestants didn't know they were terrible.
Oh, that's
So it's like
painful.
a
That's mean.
singing, yeah, it's like a singing talent show,
Yeah.
but they're all terrible and they don't know and they're all like in full of denial. And there's this one chick called Nina Diva, and she's like just talked about herself in third person all the time. And she's like, Nina Diva wants this, Nina Diva does this. And she thought she was super good because she could basically like gaslit herself into
Into
believing
thinking she's amazing.
that she
Yeah.
was
I
amazing.
know lots of people like that.
And then they told them all on the last episode that it was all a joke and they're all terrible and they like all lost their mind.
Oh my god.
It was crazy.
I was gonna like it. You know how like I'm like the world's biggest BattleBots fan.
Hmm.
I love me some BattleBots. So it's I'm thinking of it in terms of like the Olympics, right? Where they you mentioned the criteria before, like creativity, blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah. So in BattleBots, there's three categories. There's damage. There's oh fuck, I can't remember them now. Now that I put on the spot, I'm a huge BattleBots fan, and my brain blanks out. But there's 3 points, or there's three categories. Two of them are worth 10 points, and one of them is worth 5 points. So the score is basically out of 25, right?
Yeah.
And like durability is one of the categories, and it's only worth the 3 points rather than it's only worth 5 points. It's not worth 10 points. And
Yeah.
there's a guy that built a battle bot that didn't have any weapons. It just went
Okay.
into the battle box, and it was
Yeah.
basically like a big lump, like an indestructible lump with wheels all over it.
Oh, wow.
And the other bots would try to wreck it, but it would just score a perfect score uh in the durability category. So
Yeah.
we score a 0 in damage and a 0 in like evasion, and then like a perfect 5 in durability every time because it went the full 3 minutes. But it was the most boring shit to watch, right? So you have these, you're like, next in the box is flamethrower. You get this giant flamethrower thing with a hammer
Yeah.
and a spike on it, and it's like coming in, it's trying to beat the shit out of this thing, and it doesn't even explode, or like it's perfectly durable, right? So the guy was like, well, I'm not really exciting to watch. Like they're all nerds, so it's awesome. But
Hmm.
he's like, I'm not exciting to watch. but I'm winning in these categories. Like if you take, he's one of those dudes, like a rules lawyer. He's like, I
Oh,
read the rule book, and if I do this, I should get full marks. And then he played the percentages and is like, I could make it all the way to the top if I just last. I'm not going to create
yeah.
any value or entertainment for anybody, but I've
Mhm.
read the rule book and I'm going to exploit that by getting the maximum mark in this one thing that will give me a pass in every game.
I
People,
fucking
right? It's like, and she kind of reminds me of that,
I hate
right?
loophole dudes
I
so
know, and I
much.
know, and so she reminds me of like a loophole person,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm just gonna fucking do whatever.
Yeah, and like I texted you and I said the reason I hate Raygun the most is because she turns me into this like the purity of the game's pearl
Yes,
clutcher.
yeah,
Because
totally, yeah, yeah,
I've always been like when it comes to the Olympics, like I was talking, me and Jeremy were talking about it 2 weeks ago. I've always just been like, yeah, whatever, I don't give a fuck, and then just watch like some highlights on Twitter or TikTok. But this, I was just like, she can't do that to the fucking Olympics. That's not what you do. There has
yeah.
to be some like sanctity to the game. You can't just like
Agreed.
make a mockery of it. And then I'm like, wait, why do I care this much about Olympics? And
But
then
you
I
think
just
about
like,
it, it's like every other
yeah,
sport, right? It's like if you worked your ass off and you're like the top javelin thrower in all of the world,
mhm,
and you get to go to the Olympics and you're representing your country, and then some dude from Canada shows up who got in on a loophole, is like yoink, and just like drops his
yeah,
javelin. I forgot to just
yeah,
like drop it in front of you. You're like, hey, look you, right? Like that would anger me so much.
yeah. And it's
And
like,
so I can see why you're mad.
don't you have shame?
Nope.
Like,
None
I
whatsoever.
I have to battle with all this like instilled shame that I got from the church and like basically when we grew up in the 80s and 90s there's like this conservative ideals that you all had to like pull your own weight and all this
Yeah.
stuff, and then now you see someone like do this and she's old enough to know better, which is
No,
another
she
thing. As an old person, I'm like, you're 36,
yeah, she's 10 years younger than us, right? Like
you
it's
don't
not,
have an
she
excuse.
never
Yeah,
grew up in that like you get a participation medal era, right?
yeah,
Like
exactly.
maybe she did, I don't know. It's 10, well,
Well,
10 years younger than you, not 10 years younger than me. I'm a
yeah,
little older.
yeah, no, she's 9 years younger than me.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so she, yeah,
12 years
but
younger than me. But
okay.
yeah, but yeah, like
Oh,
maybe, but I don't, yeah, Dale's all mad. You're gonna turn red. Don't turn
and
red,
this is
buddy.
one of those things where it's like I saw like the video of it and I was like, no way, that's just dumb. And I was like, I don't want to make a joke about it or anything about how is this the other Olympics. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. But
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I saw it and I was like, this can't be real. Like this has to be like I thought it was like a joke lead into the thing.
Did
And then
you
everybody was just like, what is
did
going on right now?
did you watch it in context?
No, I didn't watch the
So
thing. I just
so
saw.
I watched it later because I was interested in the breakdancing thing. So
Oh, I
I
should have
I
watched the whole
TiVoed
thing.
it. So what it
Yeah.
does, so I mean I can take you through it. Like what happened is that it's
Mhm.
they ran the music, and basically each country came up, the person from each country came up, and they
Mhm.
did like the first round was this, that's when it happened in the first round. So basically like China came on and did the spin, Canada came on, their music came on, and like they like kind of tagged in. Everybody was around the outside of the mat, right? And they kind of like
Mhm.
went in and did it. And then Raygun comes on and everyone's like, what the fuck? And the cameras like in the background can see the other contestants because they're all standing around, the ones that have finished and the ones that are
Yeah.
going next. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Everybody looks super confused, right? And like
Is that
it
when
was
she was like
wild.
laying on the ground?
Yeah, yeah, doing the
Oh.
spin thing, and then she gets up and she's like, "Yeah," and she's like waving her hands and stuff, and then the next person just kind of comes on and is like fucking starts kicking it like actual
Mhm.
breakdancing, right? And it's like it was weird to watch it as it unfolded. So watching
Yeah.
the video of it, you're like, I understand why all the memes and everything were made because people got just the clip because that's what happened is they were pulling just the clip of Raygun doing her thing,
Yeah.
right? And it didn't put it in context of how fucked up it actually was when it happened,
Yeah. Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I
Like,
read that they had like head-to-head round robin tournament.
yes. Yeah,
And
that's
so
right.
she had three, so that was just
Yeah.
the intro or whatever. And then they had three matches. So she did
Correct.
3 matches and got 0 on every one.
That's right.
But one of the judges was explaining that it was like, so the judging, I just Googled it, and it's creativity, personality, technique, variety, performativity, and musicality.
Right.
So that's what, 5? No, that's 6.
That's
Yeah,
6.
so
And
they
it's
have
still pretty open to
6.
interpretation if you think about
So
it that way.
they have the ability to get 18
Right.
because they do 3 by
Yeah.
6 by 6 by 6. And she got 0 across the board. And every time she faced off against someone, they got 6. So one of the judges said, look, it's not like she got 0, like she's absolute dog shit. Like she did have some creativity, and she
Yeah.
obviously had a lot of personality, but in the wrong way. And she like probably was to the music. So they're saying that even though she got straight 0 across the board, it's not as bad as it looks because it's just the other person did better than her. And
Yeah.
the judge was like saying, like, so if someone is really good against someone who's super good, they could still get zeros. But she got
Yeah.
0 against 3 different competitors in the round robin. So she's
Which tells you
dog
something.
shit.
Yeah, it tells you something, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you can't even, excuse me, if you can't even compete at that round robin level, then why are you at the Olympics?
Yeah, exactly. And male gold won by I'm gonna look up who won the gold in the females because
It was not
the
Australia. I'm pretty sure we can
yeah
rule that out.
because the gold in the male was the guy from Canada.
Yes. I want to
Um,
say Philip. It was Philip or something like that.
yeah, it sounds like Phil something.
Yeah, it was cool. He had kind of a cool name.
Olympic break dance. It's hard to like look stuff up about breakdancing too without this chick coming up.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
she like basically ruined breakdancing globally because now everybody thinks it's just a
Oh,
joke.
Philip Kim. Yeah.
Ah, is he from here, like Vancouver?
I'm looking right now. Toronto. Yeah.
Oh,
Phil Wizard.
oh, that's a sweet name. A girl from what's that? Looks like Japan. Yeah, Amy or Emil. It's hard to tell if that's a uppercase I or a lowercase L.
I'm
Yeah,
looking
so
it up right
she
now.
won the gold medal. Oh yeah, and I wanted to say, like, the more I find out about this chick
Yeah, Ami Yuasa.
and the more annoyed and pissed off I get because now you have all these people coming to her defense being like, you guys are bullying her. You guys are being
Yeah.
mean. And it's like, dude, this is a 36-year-old athlete who went to the Olympics and made a mockery of everything.
In a
She
way.
ruined the sport globally.
Yeah, and kind of made a mockery of breakdancing. But
She
in a way,
deserves to
it
be
gives hope to
mocked.
everybody. Gives hope to everybody who posts those memes every year.
Mhm.
We should put one normal person in the Olympics. That
Yeah.
just for context, that happened, and everybody laughed at it. Right? So
Yeah.
that
And
like
then they made fun of her.
technically she fulfilled a meme if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah,
Right?
there you go.
Yeah, they should put one normal person in the Olympics. Every year when the Olympics comes on, there's always that
Yeah.
meme comes up. They should put one normal person just for context. They did it. They did it. Are you happy? They did it. They made
Yeah.
it happen. They did that, and now it's they put a doctorate. They
Mhm.
put an academic into the breakdancing competition, and it went exactly as you expected it to do. They were not as good as the athletes who trained
Yeah.
their asses off to be there.
Oh, also, she doesn't have a doctorate in breakdancing. She has a doctorate
Yeah, it's
in
social something,
cultural
cultural sciences or something.
cultural phenomena or artistic cultural stuff, like just basically art and culture. But she did her a doctorate
Everything.
thesis on being a B girl in a B boy world, like being a
Hmm.
breakdancing girl in a
Yeah.
male predominant sport. And
Is that like being a Barbie girl in a Barbie world?
I think so.
Oh my god, I want
And
to put some.
looking at this, it's like because there was like you hear like I was looking up and I heard like stories about how she felt bad and how she felt like slighted because she was a girl in the breakdancing thing. And it's like, wait, if she was this bad and she just like basically got through thinking everybody was being mean to her because she's a girl, Were they just being mean to her because she sucked the whole time? Like,
Oh, probably.
oh, that just makes it like
Worse.
cringy.
It makes it worse. It
Yeah.
makes it very cringy for sure,
Every
man.
like, yeah, the more you hear about it, the worse it gets. Dude,
Yeah.
I
Like
don't know what
I
it
don't
is.
know what to take seriously, right? Because like I mean, I'm not the first person in the world to take my news from Twitter. And I remember like, or I mean, I don't have Twitter anymore. X, sorry, or like TikTok or anywhere like. But that's the thing that's like how you hear the fastest shit now, right? So
Yeah.
like immediately after that, it was like the day after her performance is when I started hearing the like the defense of her, like, oh, this is
Mhm.
about racism, this is about cultural appropriation, that was a protest, and blah 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 blah. I'm like, was it? Was it really? Was it really a
Yeah.
protest, or is that just another instance of a white person using their privilege and their power
Oh, and
to say fuck you to the Olympics,
you want to
to
hear
the
something else
IOC?
fucking annoying? So she has an Instagram, and I saw a clip from one post, and she was talking about how she was like, breakdancing has already been decolonized. So it can't be cultural appropriation if it's
Mm,
already been decolonized. I was like, oh my God. So, and also she like, her statements kind of like short circuit her whole this is a protest thing. Like
yeah.
I'm looking at her.
Well, that was the thing. I remember that was the other thing that I was reading was that she was giving interviews after saying that she felt that she did well or that she felt that she was
Yeah.
judged unfairly. And I was like, that's not what somebody who's protesting something is going to choose to say to the media immediately following a terrible performance, right? Or like, or possibly what would be tantamount to a protesting performance. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If she's giving interviews after saying like, I feel like my creativity was really well done.
Hmm.
Like I should have gotten better marks for the creativity portion and my own personal self-expression. That's not somebody who's protesting something. That's somebody who's either taking the piss or feels genuinely slighted by that.
I feel like she genuinely thinks she's good.
Yeah.
And okay, so I looked up her bio on the Olympic webpage, and she has a PhD in cultural studies
Okay.
from Macquarie University in Sydney. Um, sorry. So
No, it's okay. That
she's
was
a university lecturer as her job. Let's see.
and again, it's like it's not for me to like sit here and judge anyone or make any calls on whether that was a protest or whether that was a weird performance or how she got in or anything like that. But I do find the whole thing like to a degree, I find it pointless,
Hmm.
right? Does that
Like
make sense?
her whole
Her
thing in,
actions, her yeah,
yeah.
I find it pointless. Like whether it was a protest, whether it's tongue in cheek, whether it's deliberate, whether it's whatever, the whole thing at the end of the day is just sort of souring,
Hmm.
and it's poignant insofar as a cultural shift where people don't put any stock uh in the like the sanctity of process or the sanctity of, oh my god, am I stepping on a landmine by saying this? Like almost like not necessarily tradition, right? Traditions are meant to be fucked over, whatever, blah blah blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
right? But like, you know, I understand there's all this controversy around the Olympic Committee, the IOC being like the International Olympic Committee being like corrupt, and it's like it's run by whatever, it's a money making thing, blah 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 blah, and there's all these other things around it. But at the end of the day, these are amateur athletes performing at their finest on behalf of their country to try to achieve greatness, to try to achieve
Hmm.
something bigger than themselves, to try to be part of something else. And then someone comes in and basically waves the big middle fingers. It's a cultural shift to almost that delusional culture that we're seeing from the next generation coming up, where they're completely disenfranchised and disengaged from everything culturally because the housing prices are ridiculous. A head of broccoli is $8. Nobody can get jobs, and it's completely fucked, right? Like
Yeah.
so sure, maybe there's a bit of that in there, but it's also like I don't even know where I'm going with this. It's just like it's such a weird time to be alive. That's
Yeah.
really
And
what I'm
it's like
going with there.
the whole point of the Olympics is is basically to see the best of the best,
Yeah, to
like
see
you
the
were
best of the
saying.
best. You want to see the best
And
of your country, right?
you want to be amazed, like you want to be like, wow, that's impressive. I can't do that. Like you want to see
pushing a
feats of
human,
strength and like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
athletic prowess and like
pushing a human body beyond its normal capabilities
yeah,
and demonstrating that like in your country you're the best. You worked hard your whole life at something to get to that point, right?
you want to see Phil Wizard spin
You
on
want
his
to see
head
Phil Wizard spin on
and
his
do
head.
crazy shit.
Yeah.
Philip Magician. You want to see
You
him
want
do
to see
some
that,
nice
yeah,
stuff.
right?
You
Like
don't,
you know,
yeah.
that's why I'm watching the Olympics. I want to see the best of every
Mm.
country and be like, holy shit, I didn't know Ghana had such incredible shot putters. Like, you know, that's,
Yeah.
I think that's the like the leveling field for the Olympics when
Mhm.
you watch them as a like I fucking casually watch the Olympics. I'm not a professional Olympics watcher by any stretch of the imagination. We would turn on the TV, like I watched fucking velodrome biking, like, and I thought that was kind of cool. But the one that I saw was like a team biking event where all four of them from the same country are just riding around in a circle, and then one drops out and they switch to the back. But it was fascinating to watch how these people worked as a team, and you're like, holy shit, they're going really fast on bicycles indoors with no brakes and no gears, and any one of them could die at any second. And it's insane that people do this,
Yeah. And
right?
it's like the Canadian relay, how like that's like the story from the
Oh
Olympics
man,
because
so
at the
cool.
Worlds, the states were like, these guys are chumps. And then someone asked them, are you worried about the competition from Canada? And then
Nope.
one of the states runners was like, ha ha ha.
Yeah,
And
like,
then Canada comes and wins gold at the Olympics
yeah,
and beats them. That's what the Olympics is about. It's just like you to forget about your troubles. It's
yeah.
like just
and
romanticizing the
and
whole thing.
and I'm
And
not like
like,
a, not even a nationalist or anything, but it's cool to see people from your
yeah.
country represent you on that stage. And you're like, they're on behalf of people. Like, I could never compete in the Olympics, right?
Mhm.
But I can watch people and cheer them on who are
Yeah.
like the best of us, right? And I would
Mhm.
encourage that in academics, and I would encourage that in uh whatever, but in the right circumstance, right? So
Mhm.
like maybe Raygun is the brightest academic Australia has. I don't know. I'm just gonna, let's just say that's the case. And she's doing something to prove a thesis. You're doing it in the wrong venue. You're not expressing that you're that
Mhm.
smart by fucking with the Olympics. That doesn't
Yeah.
hold any water for me. Like, it's do it in the right venue. And sure, then you can go, but what about disruptive thinking and trying to break the mind? Like, fuck off. The Olympics is specific to that one,
And
right?
I
It's
want,
showing the
yeah,
best of your country.
I want to give everybody a lesson. And this ray gun shit is the exact best case or best example of this. If you are going to do satire,
Yeah.
you have to make fun of yourself. Otherwise, you come off as the biggest dickhead.
Right.
Like, if you're going to lampoon other people and what they're doing, you also have to lampoon yourself, or you just look like you're some delusional chick who doesn't respect other people
And
and the
it's,
things they hold dear.
yeah, it's punch up, punch, not punch down, right? And like
Yeah.
that whole performance was punching way down. And it's like, that's fucked up that you would do that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And it basically like it just makes it look like she doesn't respect other people's stuff. So it's like, why would we respect what you care about,
Yeah,
Ray Gun? And
yeah.
also, like this whole protest thing, I don't believe it for a second because the best way she could have said, "Hey, this is a protest," was just be like, "Hey, this is a protest." But and
So
then like
so
the conspiracy part of me is like, since she's a ballroom dancer trained, and it was the ballroom dancing organization
that
of
brought her on
Australia
board.
that connected her, and the ballroom dancing world is very butthurt that ballroom dancing isn't in the Olympics. It could have been like a sabotage of breakdancing that maybe Reagan wasn't even aware of. Like maybe the ballroom dancing organization of Australia was like, let's get this fucking dumb shit chick
But
and
doesn't
get
it
her
consist
to
of her
do
and her
it.
husband and some of their friends? Isn't that the whole,
Yeah,
that's
it's
the
like
governing
a group
body?
of
It doesn't make
12.
any sense.
Well, that's no,
But
see,
I get your point. Yeah.
the thing, like the dance sport or the like Australian breakdancing thing, it's not like a governing body. It's just a group of her and her friends. It would be like if
Right.
me and Jeff started Outrage Factory Club and we had 20 members and we all touched tips and then we just thought we were
Shocking.
going to go to the Olympics for having the best opinions.
Yeah. Yeah. I would not even qualify for that. I have the worst opinions.
Yeah. So basically, if I was going to be Raygun, I would be like, yes, my opinions are the best. This podcast is
Yeah.
the best. And I should go to the global podcasting symposium where I can do my podcast. And then afterwards, after I completely shit the bed and get last place, I'll be like, I think I did all right.
Yeah, totally.
I said some good
Yeah.
stuff. I barely forgot some words and I can read out loud.
Yeah, you can read great
So
off of YouTube or off of
suck my
Wikipedia.
butt, Olympics.
Suck my butt.
Dude, okay.
That's the strongest thing. That's gross.
All Raygun has to Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan.
All Raygun has to do to win me back is just make one tweet and it just says "suck my butt Olympics."
Beautiful. The deal's
like,
on board. Right. I'm on board.
It was like an Andy Kaufman long con.
Yeah,
I get it.
See,
it wasn't just some delusional chick.
I was just thinking that even when you were saying that, like, like, there's so many things now that happen where they blow my mind, and I'm just like, what the fuck was that? And then I, immediately a week later, I wonder, did that just go right over my head? And in 20 years, I'm gonna hear this, like, oh, back at the 2024 Olympics, and it's now 2044. They're like, there's this competitor, Raygun, and she was blah 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 blah. And she was actually planting a seed for change in social and communal justice or something. And I'd be like, oh fuck, I made a podcast about that with my buddy, and now I'm on the hot seat.
You're on the record. Well, you defended her, so
to a degree, I did. I did. I also told her to go fuck herself too.
They'll be like, Raygun planted the seed in the Olympics that caused a paradigm shift and a cultural change. And Dale fucking hated her and made fun of her, but Jeff stuck up for her. So he's
I did it. That's, dude, I'm the worst podcast host. Well, no, I mean, maybe I'm just the most privileged white guy where I sit right on that fence every time somebody brings up a controversial topic. I'm uncomfortable with taking a stance one side or the other. I'm like, maybe she fucked with the Olympics, but maybe she's actually trying to stand up for social justice. But dude, I'm just like, yeah,
that's the point. You gotta like,
fuck, I should be stronger in my beliefs and stances, and I should, have more integrity, man. Jesus Christ.
That's like right now, I feel like that's a smart decision. It's like you can,
but a smart decision doesn't change anything.
But get more information, like what we opened with like the Hunter Biden thing. Like, I'm just so upset right now. I'm just so upset because it feels like the people who are like, somehow there's like still, even with TikTok and Twitter, there's still some people with their hand on the spigot of information, and they keep being like turning it down and be like, I don't think they can handle that. It's like, no, fucking tell me everything. Let me decide. I'm a fucking old man. I should be able to get some adult knowledge and make up my own mind. I just hate, and it's like everybody's like, well, if you look at people on Twitter, they just freak out and do all the bad shit. So obviously people can't handle information. It's like, yeah, that's them, not me. Let's get like mature, or maybe not mature. I'm immature. Maybe just get
you mature age-wise, not mature.
Old person who can handle information Twitter. And put me on there. And just because like it's so annoying because like you hear something, and then every time I hear something, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then I have to Google it. And then you find out it's not exactly that. And you're like, ah, fuck. Like, well, that's
90% of my life right now, right? Whenever I hear something on the news, I have to double check it at multiple sources to ensure that I'm getting the correct information, because who fucking knows now?
Perfect example is what happened in Chilliwack. This chick who got arrested. I texted you.
You texted me that. What the hell was that? So,
let me... Okay, I will. Somebody, like, I just saw this like 2 hours ago on Facebook, where you get like the best angry news. People. Yeah. So this is the headline: Chilliwack RCMP arrests social media user over discriminatory and racially offensive posts. And you're like, and people are like, read that, and they're like, they're coming for our freedoms.
They're coming for our freedoms.
And so you have to like Google it. And then it turns out that there's this like 51-year-old chick whose Twitter username was,
I can't wait for this.
Racism is the cure. Hey, maybe
see that coming.
You don't need to fucking do a full-fledged like investigation. Maybe when somebody
I think you got her.
has that nickname, it means they're gonna say some hateful shit.
Yeah.
And she's 51 years old. So it's
Right in
like,
the wheelhouse. That's 3 years older
yeah,
than
that's
me. Not
like,
quite my generation. I apologize for those people.
and so like she got arrested and charged with, I think, what was it? Public incitement of hatred and willful promotion of hatred.
Right.
And that's basically like hate crimes. Like she was saying, like, don't allow black people into white people's spaces, send them all away, and all this, like, just super hacky, dumb
God bless
redneck shit.
2024. Yeah, redneck
And
shit
it's
for
like all
sure.
that stuff that it's like the stuff you don't, that like the left says the right says, but you're like, I don't know anybody who's that hateful or that dumb and says that evil shit.
No, I'm just kidding. It's
And
not
then
me.
you hear about this chick and you're just like, fuck. But
So
it's like,
this is
this
not
is,
what I
yeah.
expected you to say about this.
Oh,
This is not this, like when I read that, when you sent that to me and I read it really quickly, I was like making my dinner, but I was reading it at the same time. And when I read that, when you sent that to me, I was like, oh, he's going to talk about how you can't say anything on the internet anymore because now people will come for your rights and freedoms when you're
I would never say that because
you can
I
get
feel
arrested now for
like
saying shit on Twitter.
you and
So
me grew up in print journalism.
we did.
That's where we got our opinions fully, like in college and stuff.
Yeah,
And I feel like Twitter and Facebook should be considered print journalism. Like it should have the same standards.
I'm with
Like,
you on that to a degree. Agreed. I
you
think people should be
shouldn't
held
be able.
accountable and you shouldn't be able
Yeah,
to anonymously post things, right? Like that, I think that's the thing that I never quite got about Twitter.
yeah,
There were, and like this is why I'm not on it anymore, because like I can't fucking survive in a place where people are two different people
yeah,
or three different people or 15 different fucking accounts, right? And it's like
yeah.
I could have multiple accounts on there. One is me, it's Smiling Jeff. It's hey, how you doing? I could also have an anonymous account, and I can follow all the same friends, and I can post racist bullshit or jokey bullshit or random nonsense or memes or whatever, right? Like
Hmm.
you can hide behind shitty behavior, even if you don't mean it. So you don't get held
Yeah,
accountable for things. And I think like this story finally holds accountable someone who is actively participating in tearing other people down. And I
yeah.
think that that's a good thing.
And it's like I agree you shouldn't just be allowed to say hateful shit on the internet. My only thing is where the lines are drawn. Like,
Yeah,
frankly, I think some of the stuff is too far restrictive, but you should definitely not be able to just say racist shit.
right.
Because as a society, if you put racist shit on a piece of paper and hand that piece of paper out
You
like
can
it's
buy
a
racist
publication,
t-shirts on Facebook though. So it's like,
yeah, but
it's
you'll get like, you like, if I make
yes,
racist
if
papers
yeah,
and I hand them out, I go to jail
you go to jail. But if you
because
make a
that's
post,
distributing
you
hate
don't.
materials.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it should be the same on Twitter. And like the problem isn't that people are getting arrested for the hate crimes and stuff. If you have a problem with that, change the hate crimes and what they say.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay with this chick getting arrested, and it's gonna be fucking annoying because you're gonna have shitty PP Polivier talking. Well, actually, you know what? I don't think he's gonna touch this because she did break the
She broke the
laws.
law. She broke the law. She
So,
broke the law.
like, PP can't go, oh, this is the liberal government or whatever. Like I'm not okay with like some of the compelled speech that's passed or whatever, and like some of the pronoun stuff. Like, yes, people should like, you shouldn't be able to just tweet mean shit and get away with it.
Yeah.
But
That happens on the daily on
yeah,
Twitter. But yeah, but it's yeah.
okay, like maybe tweet
I know what
mean
you mean
shit or
though.
whatever,
There's
but it's like,
it's that
it's,
what is the line? What is the line?
yeah,
And right now, what we have to define the line is the law,
yeah, exactly.
right?
And the
And
and
you
the
know,
thing is, if people were like had proper social IQ and learned how to interact with people, we wouldn't need laws that say you can't be racist online.
anyone can make a baby and anyone can open a Twitter account. So, like there should be like
Mhm.
so, and then if you try to make a law about that stuff, you're impinging
Yeah.
on my freedoms and my rights. I'm like,
And the
yeah,
other thing
but
too
you
is
shouldn't repopulate this earth
Canada
with your baby.
doesn't have free speech.
No, we
It
do not.
never did.
No.
That's America.
Dude,
We're doing a different experiment. We started with the same shit that Britain had.
we
We
this
kind of
is
like halfway got independent, but we kept their rules and then we kind of make them up as we go.
but you know what we
And
do have?
yeah, the Charter of
American
Rights and
television.
Freedoms. Yeah.
American television. So you have little kids running around going, tell me, no way, I plead the fifth. I'm like, guess what? We don't have the Fifth Amendment. That's not us.
Yeah.
That's our neighbors down south.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like Canada is more nanny state than the States because we have way more area and a tenth of the people.
Yeah.
Like, so Canada has to act different in a lot of ways. Like, we don't have the distribution network. That's why Target failed in Canada
Yeah.
because
That's why tires are
everything's
more
so,
expensive here.
yeah,
There's all kinds of shit like that.
everything's so spread out. It's harder to get physical goods around. And so, and we have like better healthcare and all that stuff. That's part of the like quasi socialist aspects nanny state that we live in because we can't be fully like we can't be like the states because we're too far apart. We
Yeah.
need socialism for Canada to exist. Like you can't have the highways and stuff we have if everything's private because we need the government to
To keep
ensure
those
that the
highways
roads,
open
yeah,
so that we can get goods and people across the country.
yeah,
Right.
like cities are too far apart
Yeah. Yeah. So
to
I just
have highways that aren't controlled by the government because nobody would fix them.
exactly. And like I
Yeah.
just came back from 4 days in the US,
Oh yeah, I
like
saw that road trip. I
touring
was
around on my
jealous.
bike.
Tell us
Super
where you
cool.
went.
So we went to the first night. Well, I went up to the Okanagan to visit some friends that I haven't seen in a really long time. Shout out to my boys. What's up, homies? And then I met my other buddies in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So I went down through Washington State and then over to Coeur d'Alene through Spokane and over to Coeur d'Alene, and then Coeur d'Alene all the way down to Boise. So
Boise.
northern Idaho all the way down to southern Idaho, and then
Wow.
all the way back up to Yakima, or not Yakima, Kennewick, Washington, and then we stayed
Yeah.
overnight there, and then we went through that German town, Leavenworth. It's like a little, like it's a German town in the middle of Washington. It's all like done up like the Black Forest, and there's like
Oh,
lederhosen
really?
everywhere. Have you ever been there?
No, I
Oh,
want
it's
to
really cool.
go.
It's a couple hours away from here. It's I guess it's a 4-hour drive or so, but it's
I'm
yeah, go to
going.
Leavenworth, Washington. It's like a little German town. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Anyway, the point I was trying to make was like to sum that up, there's a weird thing that happens in the States depending on which state you're in. And this happened to us in California and it happened in Boise as well, or in Idaho. Um, Less so in Washington. You know when you cross the border from Vancouver, or like when you cross the border from BC into Washington State,
Yeah.
you can sort of immediately feel a change in atmosphere and like the roads are different and everything's different there. So in
Mhm.
BC, we pay a shit ton of tax, and that tax does go to repairing the roads for the most part, right? There's some good roads in BC, and there's also some terrible roads. Washington State's roads are dirty. There's shit everywhere. Like literally immediately you get across the border and the roads are crummier, and they don't because they don't pay as much tax, and the tax doesn't go to the road to fixing the roads. But then you get to a state like Idaho, and they fucking spend money on their roads.
Oh,
Those are
really?
some of the most glorious roads I've been on, and not populated. There's not a car in sight, and every road is immaculate.
Oh, crazy.
So, but then another weird thing happened in Idaho, and you're talking about rights and freedoms. We're standing outside. We go to this bar. Hey, here's my first Idaho joke. We go to this bar in Idaho for lunch, and we tried to get French fries, and they didn't have any. I'm like, "This is Idaho. Why do they not have any potatoes here?" I was so mad. I was so mad. You have a potato on your fucking license plate. Get me some French
Yeah.
fries. The guy's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, dude. Our supplier's not here." I'm like, "Okay, whatever. No potatoes for Jeffrey." But we go outside, we're packing our bikes up to head off on the road trip, and this guy walks into the bar, and he turns around. As he turns around, he's got like a pistol sticking out of his pants,
Ooh.
and he's got his little daughter with him
Pistole.
on a
Yeah.
bike. And I was like, oh fuck, it's an open carry state. So there's people just wandering around the streets of Idaho with weapons in their pants, just weapons hanging out just all over the place.
Yeah.
And this dude pulls up in a truck right beside us as that guy goes into the bar. He's got two flags on the back of his truck. Do you want to know what they said? Trump 2024,
Mhm.
and fuck Joe Biden. Those were the flags on the back of that truck. And I was like, we are definitely in a Republican state right now. So it
Nice.
was, and then I looked down the street and there's another fuck Biden flag on another car a little bit further down the street. And then there were a bunch of signs like, we stopped at a grocery store and they had like an ammo section in this little grocery store. So,
Ooh,
so you have beer, wine, groceries, ammunition. That's what you can buy.
nice.
So I'm like, this is a wild state. My point coming back to this of what we were initially talking about was oh my god, what was it? It was something to do with the roads and the conditions and the
Oh,
taxes
how the roads in Idaho are better than
yeah, but
Washington.
what were you talking about right before I went off into
Oh, how
this
Canada's too
oh
big and spread
yeah,
out.
it's too big and too spread out. So when we're
Yeah.
riding through Idaho, you're like, boom, you're at a city. You ride like you ride out of that city, and then 2 miles away, you're like, you're in another city.
Mhm.
And then you ride in 2 miles away, you're in another city. And then there's like 5 miles in between something, and there's another city. And then there's an expanse for like, I'm gonna go by minutes because that's how we calculate in Canada how far away shit is.
Yeah.
We're like an hour and 10 minutes away, and then you're in a huge city. And then you leave that city and you're like, oh, this little city, little town, little town, little town, little town, little town, little town, bigger town, bigger town, bigger town, bigger town, huge city.
Yeah.
There's it's so populous and there's so many towns and cities. I don't understand how they're sustainable, but that's not the point. The point is in Canada, you can drive for hours without touching another city
Yeah.
or a
It's
town or an encampment or
it's like
anything.
when you go from Sycamoose.
To Calgary, there's like nothing in
Yeah, like
between there. Yeah,
so you're
totally.
driving from
Yeah,
you drive from Vancouver to Calgary. So you go from like Vancouver, Langley, then you
yeah.
hit Abbotsford, then you
That's
hit
what
Chilliwack.
Chilliwack.
Then
And
there's
then
like what,
there's an
two
expanse.
hours?
No, it's like an hour, and then there, or not an hour, and then Hope.
Yeah, then there's nothing,
There's
then Hope,
nothing, then Hope,
and then
and
after
then
Hope,
nothing.
it's like
Kamloops. That's
3 hours till
you're like,
Merritt.
yeah,
Yeah, and then it's
yeah,
like an hour. So in between all these, like you wouldn't have Hope go an hour and a half and take care of that road and Merritt come
no,
an hour and a half the other way and just
exactly.
keep that. So that's why we need more of a nanny state.
Yeah,
And it's just like it just kind of affects, touches all aspects of it, of Canada.
yeah.
Because yeah.
So that
And
comes back to the
yeah.
laws and the governance and like the not the there's maybe that perception of freedom in the US because there's more populace and it's more open
Yeah.
and people have more freedom of choice because they are so close together. There's what
Hmm.
34 there's what 38
37
million
million.
37 million in Canada
Yeah, and then there's
total,
370. Oh
and there's
wait,
like 36 million in California alone, right? Like it's
let's
there's
be
there's like let's
pedantic.
be pedantic. No,
Uh
there's a couple of states
Population.
in the US that are the same population as Canada, like a
Yeah,
couple of states.
California has more people than Canada.
Yeah, and New York does too. New York State has like triple the amount of people that are in Canada. Like there's 8 million people in,
No,
yeah, there's in New York City, there's 8 million people.
no,
Yes.
that's
8 million
oh
people in New York City.
okay. There's four. Wow, there's way more than 41 million people, 41.6 million people in Canada.
Yeah. Oh, that's bigger than I thought it was because
Yeah,
it used to be 37 million was like the number
yeah, it
that they
was
used for
37 for a
population.
long time, but that was like a couple years old. This
Well, that
this is
explains
like
the
real
traffic
time.
here in Vancouver.
That must be all those illegals Joe Biden let in.
Oh, it's the
Okay,
100
population of California is 38. So
yeah.
there's more
So
people in Canada than California.
just barely. Yeah, by
Yeah.
2 million. Yeah.
Population of New York is
New York State.
19 million.
Yeah.
Is that the
No, I think yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, it's the state. It's that the Eastern Seaboard has more people than Canada. Like if
yeah,
you
yeah,
look
yeah,
at
yeah.
like, New York, Maine, Vermont, Virginia, or not Vermont,
Yeah.
Virginia, West Virginia, Rhode Island, all that stuff. Like if you at New Jersey, Florida, all that whole side, if you take that up, it has like more people
Where
than
did
Canada.
these 4 million people come from? Because Canada used to have 37 million people for
Yeah,
the longest
forever,
time.
forever.
And California always had 38. And I was
I
like,
mean,
wow, there's 4 million more.
you can explain it like so when you and I lived in Kamloops all those many years ago,
20 years ago.
there were 77,000 people there. There's over 100,000 people there now.
Yeah, but that was over 20 years.
Yeah,
Okay, that's a real time model.
right.
So I'm gonna go by the worldometer population.
Worldometer.
It's 39.7. Let me see.
Yeah, I didn't think it was over 40,000.
What the fuck? It hasn't been 37 since like 2019.
Well, you know how our census works, where we get it all later, right? Like we get
Oh,
our
that's
census,
true.
we always get our census at like
Oh,
a
you know what it
later
probably
time.
is since COVID, it feels like a minute passed
It
because
does,
pre-COVID 2019, Canada had 37 million in it.
right?
Now it has like 39.
Because nobody did the census for 3 years because they weren't
That's
allowed to go to
true.
the office.
Yeah, no, it's like a steady, like the population of Canada is like a steady
Yeah,
line
yeah.
by the worldometer.
And
Dude, let's go North America.
the
Yeah.
challenge with that too, the challenge with the steady incline in Canadian population is now a doctor shortage. Like there's other things around it, but like that's part of the issue, right? We have so many more people here to serve, and the social safety net isn't built to have more people, a steady incline of
Yeah.
people coming in,
The
right?
one problem with our nanny state aspects of socialism is it takes too long to correct.
Yeah.
Like in the states where everything's privatized, if there's a need for doctors, people will see they could get a lot of money and then just move in right away, and then it like has a more like bouncy up and down, and then like it'll even out. Whereas in Canada, there's like a need, and it has to get run up the chain to like fucking the queen or king
The
or
queen, it
whoever's in
doesn't get run up
charge.
to the king anymore. That
I
is not what
know. I'm
happens.
joking. I'm being on purpose facetious, Jeff. But
No,
anyways, it
Dale.
has to go up the chain of command, and then they have to like do bureaucracy, and it has to come back down. And by that time, it's like years have passed. So
Yeah. It takes a little time.
let me see. Oh, did you know Bermuda's part of North America?
Yes.
There's only
Because it's
64,000 people who live there.
Yeah, because it's in North America, like Mexico
Oh
is,
yeah,
and
I'm an
so
idiot.
is,
I've
yeah,
been to
it's like,
Bermuda.
yeah, it's like right there.
You
Yeah,
know what? You know
it's
why?
very very close to
When we were like growing up
yeah.
in our teens, there was a Central America, right? Am I right? Did
There,
that count as a
yes,
continent?
there's Central America, but Central America is part of North America, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, now it is.
No, it always was.
I always thought
Central America was like a rough geographical area that was above South America,
I thought Central America was like I thought there
like
was three
Cuba and shit.
continents on this side of the world. Like it was like North America, Central America, South America.
No,
I thought they were like the three lines. And then so
no.
oh okay, I guess it was like they were part of North America, but they just like
Central America is like what do you
it's
call it?
like
Like Guatemala,
Mexico,
and it's
Mexico to
Guatemala.
basically
Uh,
Brazil.
yeah, well, sort of, but Brazil, South
It's
America. It's
yeah,
not.
it's
It's
like
like
where Brazil starts is where South America
it's
starts.
the
It's
old
the skinny
Yucatan
part,
Peninsula and Cuba and Haiti and all that stuff. The
the
Central
skinny
America,
part in the middle.
the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Cuba, and Jamaica are all like what you would call Central America.
Oh, this is Northern America, not
Yeah,
North America.
yeah, like Puerto Rico, Saint Lucia, Barbados, all that stuff counts as North America still. It used to be called Central America, like vaguely.
Now I'm nerding out on population counts.
Trinidad, or Trinidad and
Yeah,
Tobago is part of South America because it's on the tip of Venezuela, like that kind of shit, right?
yeah.
If I'm right, I think maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Nope. Venezuela and Guyana are also North America, and so is Colombia. So that makes sense why there would be Central America.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So
Guess
the
how many
top
people are in Japan?
uh 30 million.
123 million.
Yeesh. I didn't know that.
What the fuck?
I did not know that.
That's down 0.5% since last year, though. What
A lot of
the
tough jobs in Japan.
fuck?
Tough jobs in Japan.
Dude, how dense is that?
Yeah, super dense. Because isn't Japan like
Okay, it's got
geographically
a
smaller
density
than
rating of
next
339.
on Geography Factory?
So there's 339 people for square kilometer.
Fuck.
Jeez. Okay. In comparison, for our Canadian listeners, that is guess what Canada's density is?
Uh, is it what is the measurement again? Square kilometer per square kilometer?
Person per square kilometer.
Person per square kilometer? Six.
4.
Four. Oh, I was close. I was really close.
Versus
I was really, really
339.
close. I was really, really
So,
close.
Japan has pretty
How
much
you say
exactly.
Japan? You can say Japan. Japan.
So Japan.
Japan.
I was trying not to cut you off, so I was trying to lead into
Go
it.
ahead.
Japan has 4 times as much as people as us.
Yeah.
Oh wait, 3
No,
times? 3 times as
three
much.
times.
Because they have like 129. They have 3 times as many people as us, but they're like almost 100 times more dense.
Yeah, 100 times smaller space to put them in. That's
Okay, well, let's just close out the podcast by talking about nerdy population facts.
I love stuff like this, man. I absolutely love stuff.
Canada is rated 38th of the world for population.
Man, that's down there. Like, yeah, we're not that populous, but we have a huge land mass, right? Like, and very
funny
few
you
people
should say landmass.
Oh, here we go. I can't remember if it's Greenland or Iceland, one of those two places. It only has people in like 90 square kilometers of the entire area. It's like the size of Burnaby. Everybody lives in that one area.
Canada has 9 million square kilometers.
Whoa,
what's bigger than us? Russia? That's the only
Russia.
one.
Yeah. And I don't know if you can actually, I don't know if it is anymore because of all the redrawing of all the border lines.
Wait, what the fuck?
What?
What the fuck? What the fuck?
What?
Worldometer says the States has more square kilometerage than us.
Are we back to the whole
this must be like the fucking
okay. So
Portugal
Russia
and shit.
Russia's still the largest by far. Its land mass is 17,098,242 square kilometers.
What are you looking at?
Because I got
16.3.
Oh, I just typed it into Google. It was the first thing that came up.
What website
it's Worldometer. Worldometer. It's Worldometer.
What the fuck? Why is my Worldometer different?
17.09 square kilometers.
Oh, maybe.
A total area of and a land area of 16 million.
Yeah, I'm looking at land area. Oh,
yeah. There's two different measurements.
Canada has more water involved.
Correct. More bodies of water.
Than the States.
Than Russia, you mean?
What's Canada total? No, than the States. Because I thought Canada was second behind Russia. And this Worldometer for land area has us 4th.
Oh, that could be, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not counting our total
all our fucking bullshit lakes and all that shit in between Baffin Islands.
Yeah, our bullshit lakes, you mean the Hudson's Bay? 9.9 million square kilometers.
Yeah, so 900,000 square kilometers is the water.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, just like fucking Hudson's Bay alone is like bigger than some countries.
And dick smelling. Does that count?
What?
Oh, I guess because the border encapsulates it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it just kind of goes across the top.
So if you and remember when we were talking a couple podcasts ago on the other podcast about the Mercator projection about the way maps are projected?
Yeah.
Canada is not actually as big as it looks on a map because you have to factor in that bloom, the Mercator projection thing. Yeah. Like it always makes the United States look smaller than Canada. It's only fractionally smaller than Canada.
Yeah, I thought Canada was like twice as big as the States.
No, because it looks like that on a map. And like Russia is still the largest landmass, but it's not really that big.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not because we're looking at that projection. What's the other one? I can't remember the other projection's called. That's going to bug the crap out of me. Yeah, literally like all of England and like England, the entire UK can fit inside of Hudson's Bay. And probably you can chuck Iceland. You could chuck Iceland in there too.
Let's see.
I'm looking at countries that'll fit in Hudson's Bay. Libya would fit in there. Algeria would fit in there. India, you could probably sneak it in if you turned it the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. Like whole countries could fit into Hudson's Bay.
Oh, damn, it's already 9:20.
Oh boy,
we should quit.
Okay, we're gonna get in trouble. We've got into geology.
Well, Adria just came in. She's like, "Are you guys done yet?" Because
thank you for joining us this week on Geography Factory.
Yeah, usually we do a toy hour, but it's
sorry. I was excited. It's nice to talk to you,
dude. I fucking I could nerd out on population statistics and Mercator projection stuff. I
I love
kind of
that
wanted
stuff.
to look that up, but I just found like this thing that talks about the different types of projections, like
Yeah,
conical projections and like globe projections and
cornhole projection.
azimuthal projections,
Azimuth,
also known
yeah.
as planar or zenithal projections.
Yep. So when I worked back and when I worked in mining, we dealt with azimuth a lot because of your the way we have to target the materials and the way
Yeah.
the boom and the bucket come into the wall. There's an azimuth projection on top of that so that you get the right material out of the thing because of the way the boom
Oh,
comes up and the way, yeah, there's like a calculation. It's pretty cool. I love this shit too.
cool.
You know, I did
Oh,
my minor in geology, right?
oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah, I got laughed at for doing rocks for jocks, but I literally and like legitimately enjoyed it. So
Yeah, so Mercator projection is of the subgroup of cylindrical
yeah.
projections, along with oblique Mercator and cylindrical equal area. Anyways, I
Tight
should go.
hour. Yeah,
Tight
you should
hour.
go. You should go.
Toid
And
hour.
Andrea's gonna yell, "We don't want that. We want
And
to
there's
please Andrea."
conic project. Anyways,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop talking.
And on and on and on.
And on and on and on. Okay. Uh
If you
yeah, that
want
was
to,
episode 251. Thanks
if
for
you want
joining us.
to,
Probably should have said that at the beginning before you all left when we were talking about fucking politics and dumb stuff.
and then
Or not,
rejoined us for the
yeah. Then they're
geography
like, oh
talk.
wait, they're talking about fucking population of
Yeah,
reading the World Meter website. I'm fucking
I'm
down with
in.
that.
I'm back in.
There's like people masturbating and mad that we're not talking about
Yeah, they're angry now. I
populations.
was just about to come.
No, they're like, ah, fuck.
You have to say Mercator projection again in that sexy voice. Mercator projection. Mercator projection. Mercator projection.
All right. So until next time.
Stay angry. Over the top.